Have you ever felt a strange voice inside you? A whisper that constantly worries, plans, and tries to keep everything under control. It tells you to be careful. It tells you to stay alert. It tells you that something might go wrong if you're not prepared. But what if I told you that this voice, the one you've trusted for years, may not be the voice of your wisdom? What if it's just the voice of your oldest fear? What if it's not your inner guidance, but your ego? Let's begin here. The word ego is often misunderstood. Many people think ego just means pride or arrogance, but it's deeper than that. The ego is like an inner manager. It tries to run your life. It wants to protect you. It wants to be sure you're never hurt again. It plans ahead, replays the past, and constantly asks, what if? It means well, but it's also tired. It's scared, and it doesn't trust life. The ego was born the day you first felt unsafe, when the world didn't respond the way you needed. Maybe you were judged. Maybe you were ignored. Maybe you were hurt. And so the ego said, I'll take over now. I'll make sure this never happens again. That was the beginning. Now here's where it gets deeper. The ego doesn't just live in your thoughts. It lives in your body too. That tension in your shoulders, that tightness in your chest, that clenching in your stomach, that's not random. That's the body remembering. The past, that's the body holding on, just in case. That's the body saying, stay alert, don't relax, you might get hurt. This physical tension is the ego's armor, a quiet, invisible shield built from years of trying to stay safe. But here's the secret. What once protected you now holds you prisoner. In Sufi philosophy, there's a beautiful but deep concept called naf. Naf is the ego before it's purified. It's the part of you that wants control, recognition, safety, or revenge. It's not evil, it's just lost, confused. Sufis describe 7 levels of NF, from the most destructive, where ego controls every action, to the most refined, where ego begins to dissolve into divine trust. But the most dangerous level? It's not the obvious pride or anger. It's the subtle ego, the one that hides behind being responsible, behind caring for others, behind just being careful. This subtle ego is tricky. It seems wise, mature, even spiritual, but it's still afraid. It still doesn't trust life. And this is where many of us get stuck. Modern science has a name for this inner chatter. It's called the default mode network, or DMN. This part of the brain stays busy when you're not focused. It replays the past. It worries about the future. It reflects endlessly on me and my life. Sound familiar? This is the mental voice of NF, the scientific version of the ancient Sufi teaching. The more active your DMN, the more restless you feel. The more it runs your life, the more you stay trapped in loops of fear and overthinking. And again, your body feels it. The body tenses. The breath shortens. The nervous system says, something isn't safe. But here's the healing truth. It's not that something's wrong with you. It's that you've been carrying too much for too long. Most of us try to avoid pain. We numb it. We fight it. We distract ourselves from it. But what if pain isn't the enemy? What if pain is a doorway? Sufis believe that suffering isn't a punishment. It's a call. It's the voice of the soul saying, come back to me. When you stop fighting your pain, when you sit with it gently, it starts to speak. And its message is simple. Let go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing your grip on life. It means trusting that you don't need to manage everything, that you can rest, that you can breathe. The ego hates this. It wants to stay in control. It believes that if it stops worrying, something bad will happen. But the deeper truth, life moves better when you stop forcing it. Letting go means allowing, flowing, trusting. It means listening not just with your ears, but with your body. In Sufism, there is a word that holds great power, tawakkul. Tawakkul means trust in God, but not just belief, living trust. It's the feeling that says, even if I don't know what's coming, I trust it. Even if things fall apart, I am not abandoned. Even if I'm in pain, there is meaning here. Tawakkul is not blind faith. It is surrendered awareness, a softness that says, I am done fighting with life. And in that surrender, the body relaxes, the heart opens, and the ego softens. You don't have to kill the ego. You don't need to defeat it. You simply need to stop feeding its fear. Begin by noticing your body. Breathe into the places that feel tight. Soften the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Feel your feet on the ground. Tell your body, it's okay now, we're safe. You'll be amazed at how the soul responds when the body feels peace. You don't need more answers. You don't need more control. You need more presence. True freedom doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from releasing your grip, from trusting the mystery, from letting go and coming home to yourself. The body doesn't forget, even when your mind tries to move on, even when you say, I'm fine. Your body still holds the story. Your shoulders remember the years of responsibility. Your jaw remembers the words you couldn't say. Your back remembers the pressure of expectations. This is the biography of the ego, written in tension. What if your tension is a message? What if, instead of judging your body, you began to listen? Try this now. Take a slow breath. Scan your body from head to toe. Notice where you're holding tightness. Ask that place gently. What are you protecting me from? You may not hear a clear answer, but the question itself is healing. You are learning to speak your body's language. In Sufism, the practice of muraqabah, or witnessing, is essential. It means becoming aware without judgment. Just watch your thoughts, watch your feelings, watch your body. Not to fix, not to control, but to simply see. This gentle attention begins to soften the ego. The body feels seen, the heart feels heard, the soul feels safe, and in that safety the tension begins to melt. Many people think spiritual practice is only about the mind or heart, but the body is sacred too. The body is not in the way of your healing. It is the way. When you soften the body, you soften the ego. When you soften the ego, you open the heart. When you open the heart, you hear the voice of the soul. This is the quiet revolution of healing. Healing is not a war. It's not about defeating the ego or forcing yourself to be better. It's about remembering you are already enough. You are already whole. You are already home, beneath the noise. The ego tries to keep you safe by making you strive. The soul calls you home by asking you to stop. Stop fighting. Stop controlling. Stop pretending you're alone. You are held, even when you don't feel it. Every time you soften, even for a moment, the ego loosens its grip. Every time you breathe, relax, and return to your body, you reclaim your peace. The body becomes your ally, not your enemy. The pain becomes a teacher, not a curse. And suffering becomes sacred because it leads you inward, where real healing begins. You don't have to carry so much. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be anyone else. The soul is already here, beneath the tension, beneath the worry, beneath the control, waiting, just waiting for you to remember.